Peppa loves to bake. Miss Rabbit is having a baking competition and Peppa is very excited.
Can we bake a cake, please?
She asks Mummy and Daddy Pig. Yes, of course, Peppa, replies Mummy Pig.
Cake!
George cheers. Peppa and her family gather a recipe book and their kitchen supplies.
Wow!
They wash their hands with soap and water. Babbly, babbly, scrabbly. Peppa and her family are ready to bake. Peppa points to a cake on the book cover.
Can we make a cake like this?
She asks. It's a Victoria sponge cake, says Daddy Pig. Peppa and George mix the ingredients while Mummy Pig watches. When the cake is done, it looks tasty.
Spongy, spongy,
says George. But Peppa isn't sure if the cake will win the competition. Then Peppa remembers it's Miss Rabbit's baking competition. That gives her an idea.
Miss Rabbit loves carrots,
Peppa says.
We should make a carrot cake.
Mummy and Daddy think it's a great idea. They all get to work making the cake. After baking the cake, they let it cool. Then Peppa and George help decorate it. But Peppa isn't sure this cake will win either.
What about a chocolate cake?
Peppa suggests. Daddy Pig likes chocolate cake. They start mixing ingredients. You can't go wrong with chocolate cake, Daddy Pig says. Why's that, Daddy Pig? asks Mummy Pig. Because it's made from yummy chocolate, of course, replies Daddy Pig. So Peppa and her family get to work and bake a yummy chocolate cake. Soon the chocolate cake is ready. It looks tasty, but the Victoria sponge cake looks good too. And so does the carrot cake.
I don't know which one to choose,
Peppa says.
Maybe we should stack them up.
Mummy and Daddy Pig carefully stack the cakes on top of each other.
Wow!
Then Peppa covers the whole cake and the kitchen in rainbow sprinkles.
I call this my giant sprinkle cake,
Peppa says.
It's got Victoria sponge, chocolate and carrot cake all in one.
The cake is ready. Peppa and her family bring it to the baking competition. Miss Rabbit spends a long time deciding who will win. Finally, she makes an announcement.
The winner of my baking competition is Peppa and George's giant sprinkle cake.
Everyone cheers. Hooray!
And the prize is everyone gets a piece of cake,
Miss Rabbit says. Peppa loves cake. Everyone loves cake. The end. Peppa Pig. This book is all about Peppa Pig.
That's me.
Peppa lives with Mummy and Daddy Pig and her little brother George, and with Goldie, Teddy and Mr. Dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
At playgroup, Madame Gazelle teaches Peppa and her friends. They paint, play, sing, and do lots of fun things.
Hooray!
Peppa likes dressing up as everything. But her favourite thing to do is jump in muddy puddles. Peppa loves spending time with her granny and grandpa, especially dinner time.
Yummy, my favourite.
Sometimes Peppa has so much fun she doesn't want to go to bed.
This is the best book ever.
But she always enjoys a bedtime story. The end. Peppa Pig. Peppa and the Christmas Elf. It was Christmas Eve and Peppa and George were making cookies for Santa with Granny and Grandpa Pig.
Are we being helpful?
asked Peppa, whipping the spoon around and getting the mixture everywhere. Oh, yes, said Grandpa Pig. You're wonderful helpers.
We're like Santa's elves, George,
said Peppa. George giggled.
Kiss my elf.
I wish I could meet an elf, said Peppa.
I bet they love adventures.
Yes, agreed Grandpa Pig. Granny Pig told Peppa and George that as they stirred the mixture, they could make a special Christmas wish.
Kiss my dinosaur,
cried George.
Shh, George, whispered Peppa. You're not supposed to tell anyone your wish.
George wished for a Christmas dinosaur. And Peppa wished for an adventure with a Christmas elf.
Did you hear that?
asked Peppa.
It was a jingly sound coming from outside. I think my wish has come true.
Shall we go and see? said Granny Pig.
Ah, look at that,
said Grandpa Pig when they got outside. There's an owl in the Christmas tree jingling the bells.
Oh,
said Peppa, sighing.
That's not my Christmas wish.
Never mind, said Granny Pig. I'm sure you'll get your wish soon. Just then, there was another sound. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Daddy!
cheered Peppa and George. Mummy and Daddy Pig had arrived to pick them up.
Hooray!
Are you ready to ride the Christmas train? said Daddy Pig.
Yes!
cried Peppa and George.
Have fun!
said Granny Pig, waving goodbye.
We'll see you later for our Christmas sleepover.
As Daddy Pig started the car's engine, Peppa spotted something red peeking out from behind a tree.
Wow!
Look!
she cried, pointing.
A Christmas elf!
Mummy Pig turned around. Ah, it's a little robin, she said.
Santa has lots of elves, said Peppa. They can't all be at his workshop, can they?
Probably not. Maybe you did see one, said Daddy Pig, winking. Right, let's go to the Christmas train.
Hooray!
Choo-choo!
cheered George. When they arrived at the Christmas train platform, Peppa and George were very excited. The train was decorated with lots of twinkly fairy lights.
All aboard the Christmas train,
Miss Rabbit called out.
First stop the Christmas helter-skelter.
Hooray!
At the helter-skelter, Peppa looked up and spotted a red hat in one of the windows.
Found you, Christmas elf,
she cried. But when Mummy and Daddy Pig looked up, all they saw was Molly Mole wearing a little red hat.
Merry Christmas, Peppa,
cried Molly.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Molly,
replied Peppa. Everyone had lots of helter-skelter fun, but soon it was time to move on.
Follow me to the Christmas Ferris wheel,
called Miss Rabbit. Right at the very top of the Ferris wheel, Peppa spotted something in a little red hat.
Found you, Christmas elf,
she cried. But when Mummy Pig looked, all she saw was Mr. Bull wearing a little red hat.
Oh no!
At the gingerbread workshop, Peppa spotted the Christmas elf behind the gingerbread house.
Wow!
Found you, Christmas elf,
said Peppa.
Look, Daddy.
But when Daddy Pig looked, all he saw was a gingerbread house with a little red hat on top of it. The final Christmas activity was the sledging hill. As Daddy Pig and George whizzed off, Peppa spotted the elf sledging too.
Follow that elf, Mummy,
she cried. Peppa and Mummy Pig set off. Their sledge raced down the hill. The sledge was going so fast, Mummy Pig couldn't stop it.
Ah!
She cried as the speeding sledge zoomed up into the air and landed in a snow elf.
Who put that there?
said Mummy Pig, covered head to toe in snow. It wasn't me, Mummy Pig, said Daddy Pig. It must have been the Christmas elf. Anyway, time to go, said Daddy Pig. Granny and Grandpa Pig will be waiting for us.
Yippee!
Cheered Peppa and George. When Peppa and George got back to Granny and Grandpa Pig's house, they put out some cookies for Santa, and then they got ready for bed. Peppa told them all about her adventures with the elf.
Wow!
But I didn't even get to talk to the elf,
she said.
Time to sleep, little ones, said Granny Pig. May all your Christmas wishes come true.
But Peppa and George didn't hear. They were already fast asleep. Very early on Christmas morning, Peppa and George ran in to wake Mummy and Daddy Pig. Then they ran into Granny and Grandpa Pig's bedroom and woke them up too. They all headed downstairs to find Santa had left presents for everyone.
Kiss my dinosaur,
cheered George. His Christmas wish had come true. Suddenly Peppa heard a sound. She looked up. Right at the top of the Christmas tree was a toy.
Wow!
Christmas elf,
Peppa cried, jumping up and down. Peppa cuddled the Christmas elf.
Thank you for the adventure,
she whispered. Peppa's Christmas wish had come true too. Mummy Pig took the elf's hat off and secretly put it on Daddy Pig's head. What's that? Asked Daddy Pig, reaching up and finding the hat. He looked over at Mummy Pig. It wasn't me, said Mummy Pig, smiling. It must have been the Christmas elf. Peppa loves her Christmas elf. Everyone loves Peppa's Christmas elf. The end. Peppa Pig, Best Friends. Once upon a time, Peppa's best friend, Susie Sheep, came to play.
I have something to show you,
said Susie. Susie held up a photograph of a baby sheep.
Look, it's me,
said Susie.
You're not a baby, Susie, said Peppa, shaking her head. This is an old photo, Susie explained. It was taken when I was a baby.
Peppa snorted. She doesn't remember Susie being a baby. That was just silly. Susie pointed at Peppa.
In the olden days, you were a baby too, she said. I don't remember being a baby,
says Peppa.
But you were, insisted Susie. Ask your mummy.
Peppa and Susie raced inside. Mummy Pig was working on the computer.
Mummy,
cried Peppa.
Susie is making up stories. No, I'm not,
Susie said. Peppa told Mummy Pig about Susie's silly idea.
I don't remember being a baby,
Peppa insisted.
But you were a baby,
Peppa, said Mummy Pig. Mummy Pig pulled up a picture of a baby pig on the computer. Who do you think this is, Peppa? She asked. Peppa thought that the baby looked like her cousin, Baby Alexander.
Is it Baby Alexander?
She asked.
No, replied Mummy Pig. That's you as a baby, Peppa.
Wow.
Peppa was surprised. She had been a baby. Peppa and Susie giggled. Baby Peppa looked very cute. George and Daddy Pig came in to see what all the fuss was about.
Look, Daddy,
said Peppa.
That's me as a baby.
I remember it, said Daddy Pig. That photo was taken on our first day in this house.
What do you mean?
asked Peppa. Daddy Pig told Peppa, Susie and George that they had moved into their house when Peppa was very little. We brought all our things on top of our car, he said. Mummy Pig put up some pictures, said Daddy Pig. Daddy Pig put up a shelf, said Mummy Pig. And Grandpa made us a lovely flower garden. Peppa and Susie went outside. There was no flower garden at this house.
Why don't we have a flower garden now?
Peppa asked. We used to, but Daddy Pig looked after it, Mummy Pig sighed. Said Daddy Pig, embarrassed. We had the wrong kind of soil for flowers.
Was Susie my friend in the olden days?
asked Peppa. Daddy Pig nodded. Of course, he said. You and Susie have always been best friends. Peppa wondered what game she played with Susie when they were little.
Did we jump up and down in muddy puddles?
She asked. No, Mummy Pig laughed. You were babies. You couldn't even walk yet.
What did we do when we were babies?
asked Susie. You cried. You burped. And you laughed, said Mummy Pig. Susie and Peppa giggled. It must have been so silly being babies.
Baby Peppa. Baby Susie.
And then you grew into toddlers, continued Mummy Pig. And you played together all the time.
But where was George?
Peppa asked. He was a baby in my tummy, said Mummy Pig. Peppa thought for a moment. Daddy Pig's tummy was even bigger than Mummy's.
Is there a baby in there?
she asked. No, Peppa, chuckled Daddy Pig. This tummy is pure muscle. Soon George was born, Mummy Pig said, and Granny and Grandpa Pig bought him a very special present. Can you guess what it was, Peppa? Peppa knew just what present it had been.
Mr. Dinosaur,
she cried.
Grr, grr, grr.
Daddy Pig said that little Peppa and Susie liked to do everything together. They liked to jump,
and run around all over the place. Then one day, said Mummy Pig, you saw something amazing. A muddy puddle. You love jumping up and down in muddy puddles together, said Mummy Pig. I still love muddy puddles, cried Peppa. Me too, cried Susie. Peppa, George and Susie looked for the biggest muddy puddle they could find and jumped right in. Daddy Pig brought his camera. Let's take a photo of you, Susie and George now, Peppa, he said. Yes, exclaimed Peppa, because Susie and I were best friends in the olden days and we're still best friends now. Little or big, Peppa and Susie will always be best friends, and they will always love jumping up and down in muddy puddles. The end.
Peppa Pig. Daddy Pig's Exercises. Mummy Pig and George are exercising outside. Daddy Pig is having a sit down. I don't have to exercise, says Daddy Pig. I am naturally fit. You don't look very fit, Daddy, says Peppa. I'll show you, says Daddy Pig. What should I do first? Says Daddy Pig. You should warm up with some stretches, says Peppa. Touch your toes like this. Daddy Pig tries, but he can't reach his toes. Oh no! Daddy, pretending you can't touch your toes, says Peppa. I'm not pretending, says Daddy Pig. Maybe I should do a bit of exercise. I'll help you exercise, Daddy, says Peppa. First you must do 100 press-ups. Easy, says Daddy Pig. Peppa watches as Daddy does press-ups. 1, 2, 3, Peppa counts. 15, 16, 17, says Daddy Pig. Daddy Pig is not doing press-ups. He's lying on the sofa. Daddy, rasped Peppa, you're cheating. Mummy Pig comes in with George. She has an idea. She gives Daddy Pig an exercise bike.
Wow.
Now I can watch television and exercise, he cheers. The exercise bike is too noisy. I can't hear the television, grumbles Daddy Pig. Oh no! You can use my bike, says Peppa. This is the bell and here are the brakes. Peppa's bike is a bit small for Daddy Pig. Thank you, Peppa, says Daddy Pig. Daddy Pig cycles up a big hill and down the other side. Now I don't have to pedal, cheers Daddy Pig, as the bike goes faster and faster. The bike is going very fast now. Maybe I better slow down, says Daddy Pig. He tries to brake. The brakes don't work. Oh no! Oh! Shouts Daddy Pig. Help! Whoop! Shouts Daddy Pig as he flies off the bike. Splash! Daddy Pig has landed in a pond. I think I'd better get home and dry off, he says. Daddy Pig pushes Peppa's bike home. It is hard work. At least I've done my exercise, he puffs. Quack, quack, say the ducks. The end. Peppa Pig. First look and find. Good morning. This is Peppa Pig's room. And George's too. It's a little bit messy. Will you help Peppa find these toys and tidy up? Peppa loves going to playgroup. Today is Arts and Crafts Day. While Peppa paints, find and point to these classroom objects. Hop, hop, hop. Peppa plays hopscotch with her friends and then twirls a hoop while she waits for her turn. See if you can spot these other things to play with. Playing makes Peppa extra hungry. Come into the kitchen and get ready for dinner, finding these yummy things to eat and drink. Peppa and her friends are practicing a play.
Wow.
While they try on different costumes, look for these fun props and decorations. Daddy Pig is a bit of an expert at storytelling. Look around as he reads to Peppa and George and try to find these family photos. Peppa Pig loves muddy puddles. Remember, if you're jumping up and down in muddy puddles, you must wear your boots. Boots are useful too when it's chilly. Will you help Peppa and her friends find these? The end. Peppa Pig. Surprises. Mummy Pig has a surprise for Peppa. This is for you, says Mummy Pig, handing Peppa a mysterious box.
Wow.
The special box put surprise things in. Ooh, says Peppa excitedly. What should I put in it first? Only you can decide that, Peppa, replies Mummy Pig. It's your special box. Peppa goes upstairs. This is my special box, she tells George. I'm going to put surprise things inside. George wants to help. No, George, says Peppa. You have to wait outside. When Peppa is done, George tries to guess what's inside the box. Dinosaur! Cries George. No, George, says Peppa, giggling. It's not a dinosaur. Now it is Daddy Pig's turn to guess. Is it? My glasses? He asks. Silly Daddy, cries Peppa. You're wearing your glasses. Peppa goes to the living room. I made a special box for George too, says Mummy Pig. Oh, says Peppa. What's inside? It's a surprise, says Mummy Pig. George, said Peppa. Let's show each other our surprise things at the same time, agrees George. Peppa counts down. 3, 2, 1. George and Peppa both open their boxes. What's the inside? George has a drum. Another noisy surprise, cheers Peppa. Peppa and George march around the living room playing music. Mummy Pig comes in with another surprise.
Wow.
I know where we should keep these surprises, says Daddy Pig. In our tummies. Everyone laughs. The end.
Peppa Pig International Day. Peppa and her friends are at playgroup. They are dressed up in costumes from lots of different countries. Today is International Day, when we celebrate all the countries of the world, says Madame Gazelle. I'm dressed as Australia, says Wendy Wolf. I'm Japan, says Zoe Zebra. And Richard is Spain. I'm the United Kingdom, says Freddy Fox. I'm America, says Pedro Pony. I'm Switzerland, says Candy Cat.
Meow.
I'm France, says Peppa. And George is Russia. What do all the countries of the world do? Asked Rebecca Rabbit. They sing the Song of Harmony together, says Madame Gazelle.
Wow.
Later, we will sing it for your parents.
Hooray!
Hooray! Everyone shouts. The children like singing. Now it is playtime. All the countries are playing in the playground. Play nicely together, calls Madame Gazelle. France and Switzerland are having a lovely time on the swing.
Meow.
Laugh Peppa and Candy. The other countries are having fun too.
Hooray!
Australia and the United Kingdom are on the slide. Japan and South Africa are on the roundabout. Germany and Spain are playing hopscotch.
Wow.
Holland and Mexico are playing with the tire swing. Russia, Greece, Spain and America are playing together in the sandpit. I'm building a big sand castle, says America. Yee-haw! The sandpit is just the right size for 4 countries to play in. Can we play in the sandpit now? asks Japan. We can't all fit in, says America. You can play on the side, says Holland. But we want to play here, says America. Russia, Greece and Spain are upset. Hello, 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 cries the United Kingdom. What's all this noise about then? Everyone tries to explain. France thinks that Holland is being a bit bossy. Holland thinks it's Russia's fault. Leave George alone, he's only little, cries France. Oh dear. The countries of the world are not playing nicely together. That is enough. Is this how you think the countries of the world behave? Demands Madame Gazelle. Don't they? asks France. Of course not, says Madame Gazelle. All the parents have arrived. How is International Day going? asks Mummy Rabbit. Not too bad, says Madame Gazelle. We will now sing for you. Madame Gazelle plays her guitar as all the children sing this song of harmony. Peace and harmony in all the world. Peace and harmony in all the world. Peace and harmony in all the world. Peace and harmony. Peppa and her friends love singing together in harmony. All the countries of the world love singing together in harmony. The end.
Hi kids, did you have fun watching this video? Then like and subscribe for more.